good to get back into game week, back in the swing of things. It was nice for us to have the bye week. Obviously, we had a lot to do, a lot to focus on, a lot of areas to improve. A lot of players needed some time to medically heal up a bit and hopefully be in a really strong position for the second part of the year. Starting with a big challenge going on the road to a very tough environment, a place that we hadn't played our best football, and going on the road to Mississippi State in Mike Leach second year, we know will be a real challenge. They have done some very good things this year in all phases, and you could see offensively, which is really is no surprise to anybody to see the improvement. With Mike, that's no surprise. That's to be expected, and we all know what kind of quality football coach he is. But you continue to see a very, very strong defense as well that presents a lot of problems, and the same with special teams. So, complete football team. We will have to have a great week of preparation as we get ready to go down there to Mississippi State.
Has there been any theme that you mentioned not playing them all down there? Has there been any theme or consistent problem with that?
I can't put my finger on any one thing. There were times when we were down there and not really in a good game. There were times early on where we had a chance to steal one, and we had a guy backside, offside. I'll never forget that. On the onside kick, he was an inch offsides, but he was on the backside. He could have stood there, scratched his head. And but then there were other games when they really weren't very good. They were a better football team than us, and then there's other times when you name it. You know what I mean? You got to coach better. We got to play better. Have them better prepared. There's no excuses. We just got to go down there and play better.
Any of those guys, Josh or Marquand, back this week?
We will see. Yeah, I feel like there's a chance. Yes.
Last time you were down there, getting, I don't know if Sawyer was completely healthy, at the time, maybe banged up against Florida. What, having a, more stable quarterback situation, how much does that help kind of this time around for her?
Well, definitely the continuity will help, and being at full strength at that position always helps. I mean, there's no question. So we just got to continue to work on ourselves, no matter who we play or where we play. It's really about having a great week, and you know that. You hear me talk about it every week. But we have to prepare well and be ready for a lot of things. They play very good football, and I'm impressed, especially defensively. They're really, really doing a good job.
Mark, that 3-3-5, you just mentioned, I think they were ready being total defense. So what kind of problems do they present for y'all?
They got big, strong guys. They twist, and they could do multiple things defensively. They could be true 3-4. It could look like 4 down, like you said, 3-3. They move their jack around a little bit, and they have some big guys. They have length. They cover well. They really do a lot of good things.
Mark, last year you played so well against them defensively, but a handful of the guys who played so well here in the NFL now. Can you talk about the challenge for the guys who had to step forward and fill those gaps and face this kind of offense?
Well, I think they could see on film. I mean, any time you're facing a team that throws the ball upwards of 60 times a game, you better has your attention. And Will is doing a really good job of running the offense. You could see his comfort level going higher and higher and getting rid of the football and not putting them in such negative situations as you would, in the first year of a program or a young quarterback. And, so you see him playing at a very high level and getting to where they want to be.
The nature of that, where they're getting rid of it quickly, they're throwing underneath, how do you ensure that your pass rushers and your cornerbacks and everybody kind of remains patient? They're not getting as many opportunities to feed up.
Well, I think there has to be a mixture. Brad did a nice job a year ago of mixing things up. They will. They're continuing to evolve and grow, and But yet you see the same things Mike's been doing for a long time, and mainly just um, just how well they execute things. They really, just they do what they do, but the quarterbacks, they understand their system. I think you could see their receivers playing at a much higher level this year, understanding when to sit it down, when to run, and just doing the basics, much better. And you know, Mike always presents a problem, and his offenses always do. And you see them being more effective, and that goes the same for us. We have to be multiple. We have to mix things up, and we just have to play good football.
Bye weeks usually give you a chance to look at some guys further down the depth chart, some younger guys. Did any of that happen last week in terms of maybe some players who can help you down the stretch?
Yeah, we will see. We'll see how it goes, but I feel good about the young guys and the young guys that are playing for us now and the ones that are close, and it's a good group, working hard.
Kind of on that branch there, Jaton got that series, it was in or on that series at the end of Georgia. Is he coming?
I'm sorry, who?
Jaton.
Yeah.
Is he coming along? I know he's sitting out there maybe pushing back a little bit. Is he kind of getting back to where you thought he might be?
He is, and he had a little setback. He had a minor setback physically a week ago, so that hurt again.
DeMarcus Harris obviously made a couple of plays for you at Georgia. Was he able to build on that last week?
I'd like to see him continue to build on that. We need him to. We need some of our receivers to continue to step up. We've talked about that for a while, and I think he'll have some opportunities.
Mark, you talked about winning one-on-one battles. It seems like this game, especially with as much as State throws the ball, you need some guys who really step up and win those battles. Have you put more emphasis on that this week than before?
I wouldn't say more. Always an emphasis, and it's always a team game, and within that team, whether it's offense or defensively, if you're talking about defensively, there's always going to be some one-on-ones, whether it's pass rush, on the edge, safety, you name it. There's one-on-one battles, and we're going to have to win some of them. They are, have some very athletic guys, and they have some receivers that they try to isolate and put in a one-on-one situations and can make some plays. So we have to be able to counter that and compete.
You asked about Josh and Mark Vaughn earlier. Is Isaiah Cummings, what's his physical status?
We'll see as the week goes on. We'll see.
How much of a factor are the cowbells down there?
I definitely think they're a factor. Yeah. I'm still lobbying for some deal here, get that deal voted in, blow a bunch of air horns or something the whole game. I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty good deal for them.
How do you feel like Will and the line have handled dealing with the crowd? How do you feel like Will and the offensive line have handled the crowd noise, South Carolina, Georgia, now going into Mississippi State?
Well, you could see by watching the games, we've handled it relatively well, considering the hostile environment, considering what we saw people, the way they were affected here in Kroger Field, and the way we've gone on the road. We've handled it relatively well. We need to continue to improve on that. The good things we did in those games we need to build on, and a couple little areas. But overall, not too bad.
And where you're playing, coming off of a bye week, how paramount is it to get back up the guys back up the game speed this week and get a fast start out there?
It's very important, and it was important to me last week to do that and to not take the foot off the gas with the players, and they were really good. I really appreciate the players, the way they handled the bye week last week, because they understood there was going to be some built-in time off. But the time on the field, whether it be in the meetings or on the practice field, we needed to continue to keep that. And that's I'm always concerned about that. And so we will come back with a normal week. We will go faster today because they're healed up and didn't play the game Saturday. So we'll pick up a little tempo today.
That had to be a disappointing game for Rodriguez. All the running backs, how did they respond?
Yeah, but no problem. I mean, anytime we don't, as a team or individually, play the way we want to, you got to go back to work and try to get better and figure it out. And Chris is a big boy, and he'll handle it the right way.
Mark, how gratifying is it, Eli Cox has obviously gotten a lot of attention and acclaim. I don't recall him being a huge five-star recruit. How gratifying is it as a coach when you guys identify somebody and they come in and, achieve it this level?
It does, we do appreciate that, because Eli is what we thought he was going to be. And again, I don't want to be the headline. If you're just asking me, we're discussing it, probably playing a little better than you may have anticipated earlier. But we knew what we were getting, and we wanted him, and we figured he would be what he is. Just a guy that plays extremely hard, that cares about his teammates, that plays well within that group, both the O-line group and the offense and the team. So he's what we thought he would be, maybe and more. I just have a lot of respect for him. He plays extremely hard, and he gets better with every opportunity, and competes. And it's like some other overachievers we've had here for the years.
Mark, we've heard time to time about possible vacancy of Brennan. What is it starting to show his abilities?
Nothing's stopping him from doing that. I mean, just reps, him getting the opportunity, continuing to practice and do all the little things right. And there's a lot that goes into it. Everybody gets infatuated with a name, and I'm not even talking about Michael. I'm talking about anybody. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And Michael's progressing, earning trust, from teammates and coaches, and has a lot of talent and finding the right niche. I mean, here's a guy who played wide receiver, playing running back. It's setbacks. So he's going to get there. You just got to stay the course.
Lonnie Johnson, Damon Davis, some of your former draft classes are just making plays, it seems like, every Sunday. Have you had the chance to watch any of those guys during the bye week? And what are your thoughts on the success they're having in the league so far?
Yeah, just, really proud. You mentioned Lonnie. I mean, I see Lonnie really popping off the screen, every week, and I don't get a chance to watch all of them. I don't have that cable. Maybe you have that cable. I could watch all of them, but I see the highlights, and Jamin and all of them, and they're just proud of those guys. But typically on Sundays, other than yesterday we were back to work. The Sunday before is really the only Sunday we ever have off all year. So that's their one and only day off. Coaches, they better enjoy it. So they're probably spending time with their kids and not watching football. But anyway, just proud of all those guys. Actually just got off the phone, said hi to Bud Dupree, and he's feeling better and getting back into it, and it was good to talk to Bud, and just proud of all those guys and what they're doing.
From a recruiting standpoint, how important the draft has been for you guys recently, but does it take it to another level when not only are those guys getting drafted, but they're producing in the NFL too now?
Yeah, I think it does say a lot. And as our players produce in the NFL, you see more and more, guys around here, and we've seen that anyway. But I mean, it seems like it's just overload, which is good. We want our players to get looked at, and there's so many NFL, scouts through here. It's been amazing, and they're taking a good look at our guys, and the fact that they're doing well at the next level, it's important. It's good. We're just happy for the players, but of course it helps build the program as well.
Michael Leach got asked about his favorite Halloween candy over the weekend. Do you have a particular favorite Halloween candy?
I knew that question was coming. I did. You want me to do my best, Mike Leach? There's only one and only Mike, and I won't even try to go there, so I'll just stay away. You could tell by me. I mean, I eat any candy.
How did those defensive tackles filling in for Octavius for the first time playing against Georgia? What did you see from that group?
Yeah, I mean, we held up. I mean, we're getting better. It's hard because Octavius was starting to take that next jump and play. He, like I mentioned, he really watches Josh and tries to emulate a lot of what Josh does, not only on the field but off. And we need to continue to bring those other guys along. But I feel like Justin and Josiah are really starting to really play at a higher level inside, and Boule and some of the others, and we'll get Trayvon going, and they're getting better. They'll get better with every rep.
Is there a particular position group that really came along over the course of the bye week?
I can't pinpoint any. I really can't. I wish I could, but I think I was appreciative of the team's approach, and I felt like we had a really good week. And so sometimes they could be just looking forward to getting, because they're so wore out mentally and physically, they're just kind of looking forward to just getting that time off and not really being focused. And I felt like we had a good week, and I appreciate that. Now we need to come back today and ready to go.
Mark, you always talk about each game being its own deal each season. Looking back on last year's game, what do you think both teams can kind of take
Well,
from that into the matchup?
it really was a closer game than it appeared. I mean, until we got the late pick. I mean, the game was in balance, for 60 minutes. Well, until late. Let's put it that way. Until later in the fourth quarter. So it was a good game. I felt like obviously they were in the first year of their system offensively, and they're going to be at a much higher level right now. They still are a physical football team, and they've never disappointed that way. When you go watch them and you go out there for pregame warm-ups, they're always a good-looking football team with great length, very good length and size, and play very physical.
Look at last year, or think about last year, the 6 picks, I mean, did that still sort of astonish you almost?
Not really. Just however we got to play. Whatever we got to do to get a victory. We're going down here in a hostile environment. We'll take it any way we can get it.
You had 6 against them last year. You've only had 3 takeaways total defensively. How do you produce more?
Well, I think last year, when you're looking at that, a couple of them were fortunate breaks, with tips and things. Like I tell you guys all the time, sometimes the ball bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't, right? So you can't always count on that. And playing ahead helps. We were ahead, and some of that was maybe desperation late. You know what I mean? So that's not the norm. And the way Will was playing this year for them, you don't ever anticipate 6 picks. We'd be very fortunate if that happened. Have to get lucky with a break here, like I said, a weird tip or whatever. He's taking care of the football, operating their offense at a much higher level. So very different between last year and this year.
How do you try to produce more other than just doing drills in practice?
I mean, how do I, you know what I mean? Try to produce all the time, like I told you, I mean, did you do the research after I talked to you about it? The one year we led the country in fumbles when we weren't very good. I mean, did you do it? I'd like to know. I forget what year it was because somebody pointed that out to me. But we always coach it up. They're coached up well too. And look at us. We had some issues early, and then what do we have to do? We had to go back and coach it up and make it a point of emphasis. And the players are going to do what you ask them to do, in the way you emphasize it. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that in each game and in eeach season. And so we do our very best to fundamentally play the game the way we're supposed to play. They do as well.
It seems like now there's so many different variations of the air raid. People have done different things with it. Is Mike's air raid now any different than when he was working for your brother?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I didn't go back and study it that closely to what he was doing there, but you do see Mike is definitely however wording I was going to say, the traditional, he was one of the main guys, and you still see some of that popping up, the majority of it. But everybody puts wrinkles on things and dresses things up and evolves a little bit. But Mike is still very effective at what he believes in.
How tough is it to put together a defensive game plan for an attack like this that you probably only see once a year? Mm-hmm. I guess it's like it used to be with the Veer or the Wishbone or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the more we play it, the more the players will understand it year two. At least they have some film to look at. Now, again, this is a team that's quite different, especially offensively, as they grow and evolve and become more comfortable in it and get the right players in it. You know, also you see players, their players making the routine. You know, I'm sure it was frustrating when you're not making routine plays look routine. And so now when they're running their offense and the basics and the stuff is there and the simple catches, turns, and yards are there, they're doing that. And that's, you know, a staple of Mike Leach's offense. They're going to be repetitive, but they're going to be very good at what they do, and they're going to know it. And you see them playing at a higher level that way.
Mark, I want to follow up on Nick's question about Coach Leach. His press conferences are very different than yours.
You think? Pardon?
But you got a huge pulpit here. Is there any non-football rant that you'd like to go ahead and go on?
No. I will let Mike Leach be Mike Leach. I like Mike, and I like listening to him too. But nobody wants to listen to Mark Stoops trying to be Mike Leach. I told you day one, authentic, be who you are, right? I am who I am. Sorry, you get a boring press conference.
Anybody else?
Mark, your name was mentioned over the weekend about the management position. Does it make you feel appreciated knowing that you want it and you're not wanting to leave here for the foreseeable future because you still have some unfinished business?
Sure, I'm not getting into all that. I'd rather have it this way than saying you're trying to run me out of here. So, thanks.
It was 2014, Mark.